Verhofstadt.
Simply to say to Mr. Kamal, Berlin airport is not still open either. So, okay, but that's another issue. It's the same issue, but okay. I think it's a good thing that we have this proposal here today, and your plan is it to start on the 1st of June 2015. That's the idea, that then the fund can be launched. And it's good that we are not longer talking about millions, dear colleagues, because 5 years in a row we have discussed here growth and talked about millions and project bonds. We are now, I think, real on track by talking about the real investment gap, because the investment gap is huge in Europe. It's 700 billion. Since the start of the crisis, investment stock in Europe fell down with 14%, 1/4, while in the US it has been stable in this whole period. So it's a serious and crucial question. And we have 3 points to make. 3 points to make if this plan can work. The first is that this investment plan, Mr. Juncker, cannot be seen separately. You have, I think, by the beginning of next year, when you introduce legislation, to introduce legislation not only on this issue, but also on the complementary important files that are necessary. The first is structural reforms in the member states. It has been said, Mr. Weber has given a number of examples, labour market, pension market, and for me, you can even talk about conditionality here. Conditionality here, because let's be honest, what is the aim to start to fund investment projects in a number of countries if these countries don't make their own effort to do structural reforms? So for me, conditionality on structural reforms can be on the table by the beginning of next year if you come with your whole package. Second thing, I think that this programme needs to have a second part, that is opening our markets, liberalising our markets, unifying our markets in digital, in energy. There are a number of examples to give. It's nonsense, naturally, to make an interconnection between Spain and France on energy if at the same time there is regulation in France that is not allowing to use this energy coming from Spain. Then this energy grid, this interconnection, doesn't mean anything. The same is happening for the digital market. If we still continue to have 28 supervisors in the digital market, forget your broadband. First of all, make your single supervisor in the digital market, and then these investments can be productive. That's the way forward. And then thirdly, third example, on capital markets, if we continue to have no, Mr. Hill is there, a real unification, Mr. Hill, of the capital markets, your assets in Britain, you cannot use them to have an investment credit, for example, in Italy. So that is the way forward. We need not only this investment plan and package, we need at the same time this regulation unifying these markets at the same moment. Otherwise, it is losing money on a big scale. And then my third point is on the functioning of the fund. I think, let's be honest, that there is no room of manoeuvre to put public money in it. There is no public money. There are only public debts, I know, but not public money for the moment. So to use a guarantee scheme is the right way to do it. A guarantee scheme that you don't need capital for that. You can create leverage. And there, I think the most important thing is not for you now. I go to the other side, the Council. The EIB is on board. You are on board because you present the proposal. But they have to be on board either, these 28 member states, because if these 28 member states come on board in this guarantee scheme, you can have a far higher guarantee scheme than the 21 billion that is on the table now. And I asked Mr. Gozzi to put with the Italian presidency this question on the next Council in December. Is it not an obligation, dear colleagues, that every member state is participating in such a guarantee scheme to launch investments in Europe? So that has to be the message of the Italian presidency. And the second thing is, Mr. Gozzi, why not put tax exemption? You can all the member states can help to make it a huge success. If, for example, on these bounds of these funds, for once, member states are not putting a taxation that could create an enormous boost in that fund, because also ordinary citizens could be interested to take a bound in this fund. Not only institutional investors. Today, what you receive for your money. If you have some money on your bank, maybe nothing at all, because interest rates are so low. If this fund could have a return of 2% without a tax by the member states on it, then it could be a big success. And then finally, and I conclude with that, let's not fulfill simply the wish list of the member states. It's to the European Commission to make the choice of the project so that they are part, and the EIB together like a twin, not brothers in crime, but brothers in investment. Thank you very much.